Now, it's no secret that Zak Bagans has allegedly got a huge ego. Apparently, he has treated ex-members of staff for Ghost Adventures incredibly poorly, members of staff at the Haunted Museum incredibly poorly, and just other people in his world. This, of course, was blown to popularity when Nick Groff dropped this absolutely enormous video over on his Twitter page, where he basically exposed Zak Bagans for the kind of person that he truly was behind the scenes, allegedly.
Okay, let's get into this. I got all your questions. I sorted through them. Let me start off by saying this. I never had an NDA. I was not fired from Ghost Adventures. I never did, quote, a bad thing. I never cheated in a relationship that I was in. I was misled with the ongoing of Paranormal Lockdown. I kept my head up for 9 years. I pushed forward. I kept trying to move on, creating new hit shows. But the previous hosts that I used to work with keep trying to stop my career. So this is my story. This is from my perspective, and now I have to talk about it.
Okay, Rachel asked, this may be controversial, I know, but what was it like working on the GA team after the documentary and Fame hit? Just wondering if rumors are true about you-know-whose ego from experience. I questioned him once about how he treats his team and was blocked instantly.
In my opinion, this rumor is true. I witnessed it firsthand, and I saw him treat people just as poorly. This host was terrible to work with. It was an extremely hostile environment to work in, and also Dakota can speak on his experience with him too.
All right, this is from Glenn.
There you go. So, there's the rumour kind of confirmed that Zak Bagans has got a huge ego, and apparently he was not a very easy man to work with. And also even roping in Dakota Layden into that. Obviously, Dakota Layden came out after and was like, I can't talk about it, and all the rest of it, trying to keep it jovial and lighthearted, even though Destination Fear was previously cancelled. Anyway, moving forwards, Zak Bagans has actually come out in an LA Times, article to talk about things, and also kind of hints at a potential excuse or, pardoning for his behaviours. And we're gonna get into that. So the LA Times wrote this, saying the Comedy Store is rumoured to be haunted, so we went ghost hunting with the bros. And there's obviously Zak Bagans in his very silhouette ways right there. But as we scroll down, it says, LA is rife with ghosts, and paranormal investigator Zak Bagans is on the hunt. The host of the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures and his crew of spirit sleuths have roamed the city, capturing all manner of unexplained phenomena on camera. Among the haunted places they've explored are the dreaded Cecil Hotel, the Black Dahlia House, Hollywood's American Legion Post 43 building, downtown LA's Roxy Theatre, Pasadena's Ritual House, and the LA Police Museum. So, quite an entourage of very haunted alleged locations to be. Quote, we focus on LA because of the locations here offer so much in the form of hauntings and mysterious history, Bagans said. It's smorgasbord of pure haunted dreams. I haven't heard that word before, but I believe that's the kind of word that Zak Bagans would use. Today we're at the Comedy Store, the Sunset Strip club known for two things: launching the careers of such comedians as Richard Pryor, Jay Leno, and Rosine Barr, and scaring the bejesus out of countless performers and patrons during its half-century run. Demonic growls in the basement, flickering lights on stage, and manifestations of a man dressed in World War II era military uniform are accredited to the building's former life. When the cavernous structure was home to the Cairo's nightclub. Celebrities and mafia bigwigs like Bugsy Siegel and Mickey Cohen frequently frequented the venue throughout the 1940s and 50s. Legend has it that the place was used to extort, torture, and kill those who crossed the mob, and the spirits of those unlucky victims still haunt the place to this day. So there you go, bit of background about where they're at and all the rest of it. But what's interesting is, obviously, as the article goes on, I think they kind of do a ghost hunt whilst interviewing Zak Bagans at the same time. I reckon if this was televised, this would have been a really interesting ep. And this is where the interview starts to get interesting, let's say. Did you see that? Baggins asks during our interview in the Comedy Store's empty main room, I just saw an amber orb fly into your shoulder. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't say for certain whether that did or didn't happen, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like Zak Bagans is a character. And this is how Zak Bagans has come across to me in recent years, is like, Zak Bagans is a character. And his real life persona is not that character, but when he's like on camera, he's a completely different person. I reckon that's how he is, but that's just my opinion. Go ahead, make fun of us, but I'm officially freaked out because I definitely felt something, be it a waft of cold air from the AC vents, an adrenaline rush from this morning's coffee, or otherwise otherworldly presence tugging on my sleeve. One thing's for sure, I'm a ghost hunting lightweight. Baggins and his team of Aaron Goodwin, Jay Worsley, and Billy Tolley usually lock themselves in a location overnight and shoot in pure darkness. I requested we do our run through during the day with lights on. It should also be noticed that I steer clear of the Ouija boards, as I have never made it through all 2 hours and 12 minutes of The Exorcist. Baggins and I look for spikes in electromagnetic meters, and he's placed between us on a sticky cocktail table. Nothing. But that doesn't stop us from talking about the orb incident for the next 2 hours as we scour the rest of the club. Faith is everything in the paranormal business, and these guys are true believers. They're not alone. Creepy investigations from multi-part series to bite-sized social media posts have proliferated on cable TV, YouTube, TikTok, and other platforms in recent years. If you haven't seen one of these shows before, imagine the Scooby-Doo crew poking around a haunted hotel, except these are real folks armed with high-tech equipment, and the culprit is never the innkeeper. Ghost Adventures is also available on streaming service Discovery Plus, leads the packed and spooky realm of paranormal programming. Baggins has lost count of how many episodes the series has aired, between more than 20 seasons, which is crazy, and a raft of specials, but he knows it's well into the hundreds. I mean, that's another thing that's been a bone of contention with people like of recent years, is that Zak Bagans literally has to be that guy when it comes to the paranormal on Discovery Plus and mainstream TV, because I mean, we obviously heard from Nick Groff there that his shows got cancelled. Destination Fear got cancelled, especially after they started really picking up a lot of popularity and could have potentially overshadowed Ghost Adventures. It seems like, allegedly, Zak Bagans has got a lot of sway in the TV network. People keep complaining about how this is where like the behaviour, excuses start to come in. People keep complaining about how weird I am, and I'm like, wouldn't you be if you did this every other week at the darkest places you can find, Baggins says. At 45, he doesn't appear at all that eccentric. In fact, you might mistake him for any other tattooed spiky-haired dude on his hometown of Las Vegas, if not for his sixth sense and bout of possessions caught on tape. So clearly that's the way that this article's leaning into. Like, he's already discussed his behaviour there by saying, people will complain that I'm a little bit weird. And then the article, that wasn't quoted Zak Bagans, by the way, that was what the articles included, talking about the possession. So basically what they're alluding to there is Zak Bagans says himself that his behaviour is a little bit quote-unquote weird because of the amount of places that he goes to every other week, locking himself in utter darkness. And then the article goes on to talk about the possessions. Anyway, we read on. He says he always felt, quote, different and had experiences, which is why he made the 2004 documentary Ghost Adventures, detailing the eerie run of events he had had as a film student in Detroit. The film paved the way for the Travel Channel series. The tall, dark, and bespectacled ghost detective is now has millions of followers and fans who gravitate towards his earnestness and intensity. With each investigation, he addresses spirits in a booming voice, coaxing them to come forward. And half of the thrill is witnessing his reaction. Bagans is a human meter tuned into occult vibes. He's often startled, terrified, sad, and overwhelmed by the energy he feels. He's become physically ill from the encounters or shuts down completely. It's real, he says, and the accusations to the contrary sting. So you can see that people basically calling him out or allegedly being fake hurts. Anyway, let's read on. I am sick and tired of people calling me overly dramatic, says Bagans, who in person is a gentle soul if not awakened and slightly nerdy. It really upsets me. I'm a magnet for these energies and I can't turn that off. I'm a hyper empathetic person. If you start crying, I'm probably going to start crying too. There's someone bad in the room. I'll sense and it'll give me a headache. I can't turn it off. Within the human brain and the conscious mind, there is an electromagnetic activity energy field. He continues, when you die, that electromagnetic field doesn't disintegrate. Ghosts have an electrical charge to them, and I'm sensitive to that. I feel it. I'll get goosebumps. I'll feel that static charge. Again, you know, does that excuse Zak Bagans? I'm gonna throw the question out there. Does that excuse Zak Bagans' behaviour towards other people? You know, him being possessed multiple times on camera, him being grossly empathetic to the point of utterly feeling the emotion in the room, to the point where it will overwhelm him with that emotion, to the point where he can only express that emotion. Does that excuse his behaviour towards other members of staff? Of course, a lot of people say that he really picks on Billy in particular, and you know, Billy's like his bitch basically on the show, and he started out quite, you know, everyone was on a level playing field, but now it's very apparent that Zak Bagans is, you know, the guy. He's the top of the chain, and then below him is just his lackeys who will just do what he says, because if they don't comply, they get fired. Allegedly. But yeah, there you go. And you know, the fact that he gets, I can imagine that Zak Bagans would get very upset with people saying that the show's fake, but he's made multi-million dollars off the back of this, so I highly doubt that he's that upset. You know, he'll wipe his tears with his $100 bills and he'll be absolutely fine. But you know, the article does go on. If you want to check it out, go over to the LA Times and search up "The Comedy Store is rumored to be haunted, so we went ghost hunting with the pros," and you'll get basically that. Yeah, what do you guys think though? I saw this, I read it, and I was like, does this truly excuse the behaviour? And I wanted to throw the question out there. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.